looking at last night's town council meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Friday, May 17th, 2013. I'm Sarah Colvin. The operating budget for fiscal 14 took center stage at last night's town council meeting, but before town manager Tom Lynch and finance director Mark Milne got down to business, a special tribute was presented. Town clerk Linda Hutchenrider is retiring this June. Last night was her very last town council meeting. Through a special video, staff shared memories, stories, and thoughts and wished Linda well in her retirement. Town council president Dr. Deborah Dagwan made a proclamation to Linda.
Linda, this is for you. This is a proclamation in the town of Barnstable, May 16, 2013, Linda Hutchenrider Day. No. Whereas Linda Hutchenrider was raised in the town of Barnstable, returning to work here as a legal secretary, and Miss Hutchenrider in 1987 began her 25 years of service in the town's clerk's office. And Miss Hutchenrider was first elected as town clerk of the town of Barnstable in 1993, overseeing 38 elections, and has continued her educational pursuit, attaining the designation of Master's Municipal Clerk, awarded by the International Institute of Municipal Clerks and Certified Massachusetts Municipal Clerks. And Ms. Hutchenrider is past president of the Massachusetts Town Clerks Association, past president of the Cape and Island Town Clerks Association, former chair of the New England Municipal Clerk Institute and Academy. And Linda is admired and respected by her peers throughout the Commonwealth and surrounding states. And Linda Hutchenrider continues her commitment to excellence as a volunteer instructing at the New England Municipal Clerks Institute and Academy. Linda Hutchenrider retires as town clerk of the town of Barnstable on June 6, 2013, and performs her last duty as clerk for the Barnstable Town Council on May 16, 2013. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that May 16, 2013 is Linda Hutchenrider's Day in the town of Barnstable, as witnessed by town council, town management, and town president, and all the departments here.
Thank you. Thank you. This was totally unexpected. I can't even think of anything to say because I'm so overwhelmed. For somebody to be born in a town, raised in a town, and ultimately be able to serve in a town as their town clerk has been, I think, such a great honor for me. And
we will miss you, Linda Hutchenrider, town clerk, and wish you well in your retirement. Next, in last night's meeting, town manager Tom Lynch made his annual budget presentation.
This year we're emphasizing basic values. The fiscal year 2014 operating budget reflects the basic values of public safety, public education, and delivering government services efficiently. We seek to improve the quality of life for our citizens by improving our recreational facilities and creating an environment for economic growth. We face the same economic challenges confronting other communities, and through prudent planning, we are able to address our basic needs. Last year's budget maintained fiscal stability in a changing political environment. In fiscal year 2014, we have again maintained our fiscal stability, achieved modest service enhancements, spent within our means, and prudently planned for our financial future. This budget reflects that prudent financial management and is structurally balanced.
The fiscal 2014 operating budget continues the tradition of fiscal responsibility.
The fiscal year 2014 budget is balanced and does not rely on any one-time fixes or solutions. Reserves are only used to cover one-time costs. Maintaining strong reserve levels and using conservative revenue estimates has proven to be an effective strategy for the town in preserving its financial integrity. Conservative revenue estimates have allowed us not only to restore reserves used to pay one-time expenses, but to more recently expand our capital improvement program. It also puts us in a more advantageous position to react to economic downturns. We have minimalized the use of reserves to pay for recurring operating expenses in recent years, creating more stability in the delivery of services. Over the last 10 years, we have seen state aid make up a smaller portion of our overall general fund resources, creating a greater dependency on property taxes and our local receipts to fund operations. While state aid is difficult to predict due to the political influences surrounding it, we expect its growth to be insignificant unless the state decides to implement a major tax change. This will continue a trend of more reliance on property taxes and other local receipts to fund our operations. In essence, this creates more stability and predictability as the town's services become less dependent on state aid, which has been reduced significantly over the past 10
Lynch
years.
says quality of life and services is key in the coming fiscal year.
We will be busy in fiscal year 2014, continuing to provide the highest quality of services possible within the budget constraints that confront us. The priorities outlined below are designed to keep us financially sound, keep our community safe, support public education, improve and promote economic development, maintain our existing facilities and infrastructure, and improve our quality of life for all Barnstable residents.
Director of Finance Mark Milne ran down the numbers.
We're looking at a budget of $135 million next year for the general fund. That's actually a decrease of about half a percentage point over from the FY13 budget. Now that includes transfers. If you take the transfers out of the equation, because all transfers are payments to ourselves, we're moving money from the general fund to another fund. So if you exclude transfers or payments to ourselves and you look at the budget from that standpoint, it's about $131 million. And that's about a 4.3% increase over FY13 spending level. So that's where we're starting from. The next slide shows you the total budget growth from fiscal year 2009 to 2014. Over this 6-year period, the lowest it ever was, the general fund budget ever was about $120 million 4 years ago in fiscal year 11. That's during the time period when we were having to cut back on budgets because of the economic stress that we were feeling. Today's, this budget going forward, proposed for 2014 is about $131 million, or about $11 million more. So it's about $2.5 million a year on average increase. Compared to where we were 6 years ago, in fiscal year 09, the budget was $126 million. So it's about $5 million more than where we were 6 years ago. That's an increase of about 3.8% over a 6-year period in growth in the general fund budget. The next slide. The composition of our general fund revenues for fiscal year 2014. This hasn't changed much over the past several years. About 76% of all of our general fund revenue sources comes from property taxes. A very small percentage comes from state aid, about 10%, and then all other revenues generated locally comprises about 7% of our local revenues, or general fund revenues, and then vehicle, boat excise, and room excise taxes are about 4% of our total general fund revenue.
Public hearings and department presentations will begin at the Council's next meeting on June 6th. Town Council last night also approved a fund transfer of $14,000 for repairs to Sandy Neck. Nina Coleman, Beach Park Manager, described
Sandy Neck Park Manager. Nemo, the blizzard of February 8th, unfortunately came right out of the north, hit our beach during an extreme high tide, took away a lot of the dune along with stairs and handicap ramp, and snapped our flagpole. We did have to address that. That was the only way you can get on the beach, so we immediately got those stairs and handicap ramp rebuilt using our operating budget, and I do need to have those funds reimbursed in order to get through this fiscal year 13.
Council also approved an act authorizing the town to lease a parcel of land, the Armory Building, for use as a for-profit museum. You can watch the entire meeting online at town.barnstable.ma.us. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.